What's up, fellow lords of gaming, and welcome back to the channel. We're going to be jumping into some more First Descendant content today to answer the question, what is the difference between ultimate Descendants versus their base form Descendants? Before we jump in, please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button and check the description link below and support me on the Nexon Content Creator Program. Without further ado, let's jump right on in. So, all right, so we're going to be talking about the Descendants and whether or not there's a inherent value to you purchasing the ultimate pass for the Descendants. The only way that I could really show you what you're basically purchasing is basically by purchasing a Descendant in this game and showing you what you're getting innately for the characters, and then also giving you a comparative like sample of what it is that you're paying for the ultimate Descendant. So the only way I could really presumably do this is by showing you a like sample type game, and the closest to this would be Warframe. So I'm going to use that as a baseline comparison to most players because I think this is the immediate thing that comes to mind. Sorry to the developers if this offends, but you can't just basically make a game that looks similar to another and not expect some comparison. So let's start there with it. All right, so number one, I did another video where I was explaining the caliber kind of purchase and price point, and I'm going to make this clear and succinct for the players. Essentially here, what you're basically looking at is if I was to purchase $10 worth of caliber in the game, I'm going to minus the 20 plus bonus because that's just arbitrary in terms of their mind. I basically purchased $10 in caliber. That means I'm getting 500 caliber. So there's not a one-to-one sample in terms of conversion rate for what your $10 is equal to, because essentially what this is saying is that my $10 is less than the value of the in-game currency for the game. So basically I'm giving them $5 I'm giving them $10 to get $5 as an example here, right? It's like if I was to go to England and I look at the conversion rate and it's like, hey, the pound is worth like $1.20 to my dollar. That means that when I go over to England, my dollar is not weighted in more value. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna basically go over there and be like, hey, I've got more money. Things are gonna cost a little bit more to me in that regard because my dollar is weighted less. Here, especially, is gonna basically be seen as that I'm getting less from my dollar essentially here, because 500 caliber is equal to my $10, not a one-to-one inside the game. So that's essentially what you're looking at already, like it's $5 to get $5, right? So then we look at like the base model packages for the Descendants, and so you've got two. We've got the 3000 caliber just ultimate bundle, where you get essentially just the character model that is for the game, the upgraded character model, which is not available for you to farm or utilize on any of your base kit characters. And then you get the Descendant slot +1. So now you can purchase these Descendant slots inside the game, so you can immediately draw a comparative value to the Descendant slots by looking at that. So if you were to go to like I think like a Descendant slot is like 50 caliber, like just to purchase one additional Descendant. I think it is like, I think that's what it is. I'd have to go search through this again to basically look for them, but just know, like, trust me on it. It's basically like 150. It's like 50 caliber basically to get that additional Descendant slot. So that's where I can go and like look at it right here. I don't know why the fuck I like thought about this in my head, but if I want to go purchase a slot inside here, you can basically see like one additional slot is basically 50 caliber, right? So that's essentially where you're taking it to, is basically like an additional $1 or $2 to basically get another additional Descendant slot. So all right, so now we're back to taking a look at this. So now I've got two types of pack. I've got the ultimate pack, so I can draw on this is that this value only has maybe a 50 caliber value, which means that essentially for this I'm paying the full cost of the 3000 just for the skin. That's what I'm getting, is the skin. Now I also can purchase the $5,000 caliber pack, which basically has the skin, and then it has two cosmetic items. These items they do nothing for you in game. They add no play value for you in game other than just for what you see. So they're cosmetic in that instance alone. So it's really hard to drive a value towards these cosmetic items. This is what I'm saying. Like, if you like a backpack, then yeah, cool. If you prefer a different transmat effect, then cool. But those are cosmetics, so it's hard to put a value on these cosmetic items. Particularly me, I don't put a high value on these cosmetics, especially because to me these cosmetics are just like weird ass UE5, just like base things that are available that they just jammed in here. Like, that's just my opinion, right? It might be different for some other people, but they don't even feel like they fit into the game world, essentially, right? And they just distract and pull out. So I'm not a huge fan of these. Like, there was one where it's like a mouse and a wheel, a hamster and a wheel. These are just like basic UE5 engine type shit that just like basically you know, kits that's inside there. Now you do get two other items that are not cosmetic, and putting a value on these is going to be a little bit more testy in terms of like what it is that you're using them for. So you've got the energy activator, you got the crystallization catalyst. These are basically used to upgrade your Descendants and their mod capacities and activate these things inside there. So these have a different value on them because they require a resource grind to get, and they require a gold cost as well. So the weighted value of this is going to be how difficult it is to receive these items versus the time that you basically put in game to get these items, along with the gold cost in the game. So it's a little hard to basically come up with a value for these in my mind. So essentially you got a 5,000. So like I said, with these items, the weighted value in them is your time investment more than it is like we can draw a comparison for this is what a crystallization catalyst costs in terms of the shop. You know, like I can't particularly just go and buy like, hey, like I want a catalyst inside the shop, so I can go and just purchase a catalyst. There's no marketplace for me to set like what a catalyst is going to be to purchase this from a player. So I have to basically infer the amount of time that it's going to take for me to basically grind for that item. So different weighted value in here. Okay, so now what do you actually get with the Descendant? So let's take a look specifically at the Descendant, and that way I can show you.
Let me show you how I managed to do
essentially that. This works the same way it does inside of Warframe, and that's why I said I hate to say this and I have to do this. I have to draw a comparison for you by looking at a similar type title and similar type game, because the contrast is just there. So let's take a look real quick. So I got Ajax Ultimate version. I did purchase this so that way I can specifically show you guys this video, because otherwise I would have just grinded. None of the starting 5 are characters that I feel are worth purchasing their ultimate or prime versions of. So essentially what you're going to notice is these stats over here below. So you'll see like we've got firearm, we've got skill power, we got defense, we got shield, we've got HP, and we've got MP. So what you're going to notice for each of the ultimate versions is there's going to be at least 1 to 2 of these stat modifiers that are going to be higher than what your base model is. What I found when I compared these two characters at level 11 for the characters is that his defense was higher than his base model. That was it. All the other stats are essentially the same. So we can look here, we can see Ajax, Ultimate Ajax has a 2828. I've got some modules equipped to him, and those modules are essentially equipped. He's got a 3640 mod capacity because he's at level 60. Just pay attention to that, and that's about the biggest difference there. The other difference that you're going to notice is if I unequip all of these mods that I currently have equipped, it's going to be the number of polarity is what Warframe calls it, or the sub mod type inside of the first Descendant. So here, instead of having 2, I have 4. So, and you got to pay attention to the background over here where you're basically seeing like this little mod polarity or the subtype of the mod kit in here. What these little things enable you to do is basically equip your mods at a reduced cost. So for instance, we can see here like I've got a level 8 mod that basically is increasing my defense, right? So blue defense, I don't even know why I increased the blue, I just did, whatever. But we got a blue one that's increasing my defense, and because I'm increasing or enhancing the mod, the cost will go up. So we can see now it's an 8 cost, but if I was to equip it here, for instance, you notice it costs me 8 and I lose out on 8 mod capacity inside here. That's essentially how that works, right? But if I equipped it to a polarity mod or a subtype mod that match, the cost is reduced by half. So that means now I get away with basically increasing, enhancing these mods and being able to access higher tiers of power on these mods at a reduced cost to my capacity, which means in the ultimate, I'm going to have more power that's generated towards that ultimate because that character is going to have more of these sub slots than a Descendant that doesn't have all of these equipped. That's essentially what you're looking at inside of the system there, right? So this one has 4. If you notice, the other one does not have that. So now that you got an idea of that, I'm going to exit this so that way you guys can see it. And I'm going to go to my Descendant and I'm going to pick the I'm going to pick Ajax, who's the normal character. So this is another important thing for you to understand. Don't look at the ultimate character and the base form character as like the same character. You might as well look at the characters as 2 separate and distinct characters because there's no intrinsic value to leveling up one and therefore the other one is leveled or anything like that. You will have to level up each of these characters individually, and that works into your favor because having more characters means that it's going to be easier for you to basically rank up inside of your like your overall account wide expansion. Mastery is essentially there. So now if I was to equip Ajax, now bear in mind that he is a level 11 compared to the level 16 character over here. So I'm going to start using this character. You are free to switch Descendants inside of Albion on a go. So now if we looked at this Descendant, you'll notice, yes, it's going to be a lower defense value here. I want you to pay attention to that because it's level 11, but I also want you to pay attention that the values that are set for the other ones are exactly the same. So you can extrapolate from here the defense value. Now, trust me, when I compared these 2 characters when they were at the same level as level 11, and I did do a video, but it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so I'm doing another update to that video essentially to try to correct it. The number difference at level 11 between them holding the same exact modules, holding the same exact equipment, holding the same exact reactor, same exact external components was about 160 points worth of difference. That's it. 160 points worth of difference in defense. There were no other attributes that basically had higher stats. That goes for the same for inside of the breakdown completely, where we were looking at attack, skill, defense, and sub elements. They were exactly the same. The only place in difference that we noticed this was in defense, where it was a higher value. Other than that, it was basically the same. So with Ajax at the very minimum, that's the difference between the ultimate version and the base model. Now, like I pointed out to you guys as well, here you notice that with the subtypes of the mod slots or the polarity slots, there's only 2 on this character. That means essentially that as you're equipping mods, this one is going to have less space to grow. Like, I'm going to be able to not reach the same bars and heights because I only have 2 here. I have 4 on the other one. Now, whether or not you're going to be able to add polarization or additional subtypes to the character kit through grinding efforts will also probably affect where that character ends up, but it's going to change as well the cost of what it's going to be because you'll have to spend more time in terms of getting like activation crystallizations and things like that to basically do these things. So that's at a base level. So now you have a base level understanding of what the difference between a base character is and its ultimate version. Now what I want to get into is the value. Excuse me, let me not exit. Yeah, well, fuck it, I don't care about it. Now what I want to get into specifically is drawing out the actual cost inside the shop of what it is that you're getting and what it is that you're paying for by comparing that to to like Warframe, for instance. So let's take a look at the ultimate Descendant list. Go back so that way you refresh your mind. A $5,000 pack. It's basically two pieces of cosmetic, a slot, and then some items that you have to put a value on at some point in the way that they move from here. So now let's take a look at the Descendant. So I'm gonna have to pull up my window here so I can exit out of the game because it doesn't really help to do borderless window because the game doesn't seem to care about borderless window. I have another video about the optimizations inside this game, but we'll get there for another time. So I'm going to pull up Warframe's Warframe shop, so that way you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about here. So this is like the current packs that you have separated out with inside the game. So for instance, this is a pack right here which is complete. This is Prime Access for Protea. It's the newest, I think it's the newest Prime that basically come out. So for $139, this is essentially what you're getting for the character. So here you can notice that I'm gonna get 4,000 essentially platinum, which is the in-game currency for Warframe. I can tell you that that platinum will extend really far, because in most cases you can jump inside their marketplace and you can buy the individual prime or ultimate parts that you need to actually composite those for somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe like as low as about 30 to as much as about 100 platinum. So essentially 4,000 platinum will buy you a lot of primes, right? And then you notice I'm going to get Protea Prime, I'm going to get Velox Prime and Okina Prime. What is Velox and Okina Prime? Well, those are weapons. So with that full pack at $139, I'm also getting the damn weapons that, you know, complement that character inside the game. I don't get weapons with my pack inside there. Okay, so what else am I getting? Proteus Prime's Chrono Helmet, the Roptrin Prime, I can never say that word when we were playing games, Sedania, and then the Temporal Prime Ephemeral, the exclusive Protea glyphs, right? So what are those? That's all the accessories for those kits. So you'll see those there. And then I'm also getting a booster pack inside here. So 90-day affinity booster, 90-day resource amount boosters as well. This is important to understand for what you're getting overall inside here. I'm not getting any in-game currency, any caliber for the purchase of a ultimate character. I'm not getting any weapons. I'm not getting any accessories that, you know, have any necessary impact on the game. Well, you know, you're getting the 2 or whatever. But so let's take a look at those for the Prime Access, so that way you could exactly see those things bear out in mind. So here we essentially get a value on just the $49.99, whereas basically the 2 weapons that you have, that's bundled into here. Then you can see, oh well, this is the prime itself with the weapons for $79.99. So now we have an innate value on those, and then you can see these are all the accessories that you're essentially getting. So it's three accessories that you're getting with purchasing a prime. And then you're getting a 90-day booster on affinity, which is basically going to help you level up your prime, and then the resource booster as well, which is just going to increase the amount of resources. That's for 30 days. This is for 90 days. This is important. So that's 3 months worth of you just basically being able to grind and basically boost those resources. This is important because you're going to see this play out when I go back to the Ultimate Descendant. So to me, this is a lot in value because I'm getting the weapons, I'm getting the skin, I'm getting variations on the skin as well, and then I'm also getting some accessories along with purchasing this and being able to get some of that in-game currency, because for $39.90 for 4,000 platinum, I can use this platinum to purchase in the marketplace other primes when they're parts and components. Like, that's important to understand. I'm not getting that in this inside the game. So okay, so now you've seen what you're getting basically for getting a prime inside the game, right? Okay, so let's go back and understand that this is the part for the 90-day affinity boosters. In turn, the affinity booster is leveling up your character and hitting that that cap or that mastery really quickly, and then the resources that is going to be needed to upgrade any additional primes and things like that that you're going to buy. So here you go with the value there. Now, what they do, they don't include all of those things inside of here. They don't include any of that. And what you also notice is that there's a convenience boost feature inside here where they're essentially selling you the convenience of getting Kuiper, getting gold, getting Descendant XP, and getting weapon XP at a value for 30 days for $10. So that means that I have to spend $40 in order to be able to boost Descendants, weapons, Kuiper, and gold within inside the game, which is all currency that I need in order to boost up my characters or my Descendants that as they are in the shop. That's a big thing because that's basically a 40-day value. That's a 30-day value pack weighted at $40-something. If I was to go play most games, a value pack or a convenience feature pack of this would normally be in the range of something like $15 to $20, not $40. This is essentially me buying a game on Steam every 30 days. That's very expensive. It's very, very expensive. So when you look at that, comparison wise, that gives you the landscape of what it is that you're buying when you try to purchase Ultimate Descendants. For me, in my experience of playing Warframe, I have quite a few Warframes inside Prime Warframes in that game, and I've played that game extensively for quite a while. I kind of fell out of it when I got into Destiny and Black Desert Online, but when I started playing that game, this is what I did in my experience. This is not worth it to me. I think that the Caliber shop needs a recalibration because I don't really feel like these values are something that are going to basically enthrall players. And I think a lot of players are currently complaining about the Caliber shop and the microtransaction system that's in here because the prices are way overvalued and way overweighted. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, if you look at like skins inside this game, they're charging you about $5 for some head skins, and they're just head skins, and they distinguish between a head skin and between a body skin. So I'm essentially going to be paying you roughly about $10, well, maybe about $7 really, for a full kit on a skin item inside here, as opposed to like, and these things come nothing with them. So you can even look at some of the premium skins, they're going to be charging you $10 to $15. And basically the difference between an Ultimate Descendant and a base model Descendant is very little. It's more about the grind that you put inside there. So there are minimal differences overall. And I don't think that people are going to be happy with these convenience boosts inside here. So I think I would love to see the comment section. Let me know where you guys feel about the Caliber shop and the microtransaction system in the game. I know there's high concern from people who are wanting to invest in the game, especially Nexon's history with the marketplace and Maple Story and some of the other games that they had and their history. You go look that up and you can see what it is. I'm not trying to shine shit at them or whatever, but I am being 100% honest as a content creator for you guys to understand. So to me, don't purchase these Descendants. Like, you can literally just go and grind out the time to get to these Descendants. You're more than likely going to collect a lot of the base model Descendants from just completing stories and the regions and zones, and you'll have time to basically grind those characters out while you work to get towards these Ultimate Descendants, and you won't need these. These packs are way overvalued and way overweighted for what they have. There needs to be, I like 100%, Warframe has been around for 10 plus years. There's the model exists already for the comparison to exist. There's no caliber inside there. There are no boost or affinities inside there. There are no accessories of note or value inside of here. To be perfectly honest, the accessories that they include inside here are basic UE5 type components that are just like trash model examples and just like thrown in. They separate your experience from the reality of the game world that you're playing in. I don't understand why they were created that way. So let me know what in the comment section what you guys think. I'm enjoying the game so far. No complaints there. I do believe that this needs some change overall in my opinion, but you let me know what you guys think. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, hit that like and subscribe, and peace.